I thought I did, but I guess I really didn't, bitch. I don't give a fuck about nothing but my chicken strips. I count them up, then I drive into the distance. I'll tell a nigga I don't give a fuck in an instant.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy DT Blake. Y'all already know what it is. We finna do a 2023 NFL way too early mock draft. Yeah, it's way too early. We're gonna do our official one right before the actual draft, but this is gonna be the ones with trades, everything, and all that. Y'all already see. But y'all go ahead and make sure y'all like and subscribe this video, and make sure y'all subscribe him, bro. And let's get into it. So the first trade we're going to be doing here today is the Packers will be sending their 15th overall pick, their 78th overall pick of this year's draft, and their next year's fourth round draft pick to be exact, for the Cardinals' 34th pick in the draft and DeAndre Hopkins. We all know Aaron Rodgers, he needs that number one. And we know D-Hop, when he is healthy, he is one of the, if not probably the best receiver in the league. And I could stick to that. I could see Aaron Rodgers staying in Green Bay if they make a trade for a receiver. And I feel like the Packers are in a situation where they're going to have to realize that if they don't trade for somebody that can make plays for Aaron Rodgers, that like Aaron Rodgers ain't going to want to be there no more. So, I mean, I think if they go out and make a trade like this, they can do it. And the second and final player trade of the video will be that the Patriots will be sending their 3rd round pick this year and their 4th round next year for Brandon Cooks to return to New England. Whenever he was in New England with Tom Brady, it worked out amazing. I think they went to the divisional round of the playoffs. They were doing pretty good. But this time he's going to have Mac Jones and Patriots receiving corps. They're pretty weak. I'm not going to lie. I think Jacoby Myers is their number one. He's lined up in the slot. I mean, they need a true number one. And Brandon Cooks is called like that. Yeah, so they're going to need somebody that can go up there and make big plays for them. And I think that's a lot of a reason why Mac Jones was kind of struggling last year and kind of got replaced by Bailey Zappi mid-season. He never really had that true number one receiver. And Jacoby Myers can't get it all done as a number one receiver. No disrespect to Jacoby Myers, had a great season, but bringing Brandon Cooks back into an offense that he's already familiar with should work very well for Mac Jones, and I think they should be able to give up 2 third-round picks for him for an above-average receiver that can be lined up at your number one. So I think that makes a whole lot of sense for them. And for the trade, y'all, we got the Texans sending their 2nd overall pick and their 33rd overall pick to the Bears for their 1st overall pick and their 54th overall pick. Bears move up in the 2nd round a little bit, and they just drop back 1 spot. So it's a pretty big W for the Bears and pretty big W for the Texans grab. So I'm not going to spoil that, but that's the first trade. Raiders will also be moving up from number 7 to number 5. They are also giving up their 38th overall pick, and that is also going to be all sent out to Seattle. So Seattle moves back to number 7. Raiders are at number 5. The Panthers will be trading back from number 9 to 15. Cardinals send number 15, the one they got from Green Bay, to Carolina. And Carolina is going to be moving back from 9 to 15. Carolina also gets a 3rd round pick from this year and a 2nd and 3rd from next year. The Ravens will be jumping 3 spots ahead from 22 to 19. They will be sending an extra 3rd round pick to the Bucks to move up to number 19. Giants will be moving back from 25 to 29 with the Saints, and the Saints are also giving up a 3rd round pick as well. And with the 1st overall pick, the Houston Texans, who have traded up from number 2 to number 1, as we previously talked about earlier, they are going to take Bryce Young, quarterback out of Alabama. It seems like the number 1 overall QB in the draft right now. QB out of Alabama is pretty obvious. He's won a championship, and he's been in a Heisman running. I mean, seems like an obvious number 1 overall pick to me. I like Stroud just a little bit more, but he's a little undersized. He doesn't move as much as I like him, but he can definitely lead a team. But The Texans need this. And with the second overall pick, the Chicago Bears will be selecting D tackle Jalen Carter out of Georgia. You know, last year came out with some Jordan Davis out of Georgia. Didn't know you can get any better from Jordan Davis. Apparently, Jalen Carter is that man. I think he's going to come in. He is going to be a day one star. He's a can't miss prospect. Him and Will Anderson both. You know, these Georgia D-line prospects, they just keep coming and coming and coming, man. Yeah, I really like I really like him. He's a big dude. I mean, like, there's just not much to say. He's obviously just a beast, bro, and he can wreak a havoc for them. And the Bears really need someone like that out there, bro. They really, really do. And with the third overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals will be selecting edge Will Anderson out of Alabama. Another edge prospect that is pretty fucking raw. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I mean, look at his tape right here. He's fucking raw as hell. Kind of reminds me of like a young Chandler Jones. It's hopefully if Chandler Jones resigns another year, he can progress around him, and then he can learn from a legend like Chandler Jones, and he can just be a beast from like year two at least. Like year two, at least 90 overall X Factor, bro. I'm telling you, this man is a beast. Him and Jalen Carter are can't miss prospects, and adding him to the Cardinals would be crazy for obviously defensive purposes, because they struggled a whole lot in defensive playing time. So that would be a big fucking addition. With the fourth overall pick, the Indianapolis Colts will be selecting my favorite quarterback out of this draft, C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State. You know, this dude's got an arm. In my opinion, he has the most upside in this draft, bro. He's got it all. In my own opinion, I think he should be number one overall pick. I won't regret saying what I'm saying. I think he will go in the NFL. I think he is going to be the best rookie in the class, no matter where he's taken. I think this dude has the most talent out of any of the QBs. I think I got him, Bryce Young, and then Will Levis. But, hey, he goes to college. He got Michael Pittman. He got Jonathan Taylor. I mean, it's not a lot of weapons on the Colts you can use. But, hey, he got a big body, and like Michael Pittman. And Michael Pittman in USC, he was going crazy. He was going really crazy. And with the fifth overall pick, the Las Vegas Raiders will be selecting Will Levis, QB out of Kentucky. Will Levis, he's a guy with a whole lot of upside. You don't know what you're going to get out of him, but you know the upside you could possibly get out of him. Big boomer bust QB prospect, in my opinion. And if he goes somewhere like the Raiders, I don't know. Like, it depends on what Josh McDaniels can, like, develop him into. I mean, Raiders, I feel like there's no other, like, route they need to go. They might as well just go with their young QB. They already got a guy like Darren Waller, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs had a hell of a year, career year for sure. And obviously, you know what Devontae Adams can do. And, yeah, that should be a good little pickup. With the sixth overall pick, the Detroit Lions will be selecting Devon Witherspoon out of Illinois University. In my mock draft, of course. This dude's got tools. I think he is a can't-miss cornerback prospect in this thing. Hard-hitting corner. Don't get much of that. Lions obviously showed that they're not scared to draft a corner early with Jeff Okudah. Didn't pan out as much, but I think if they draft a dude like Devon Witherspoon, he is going to pan out, especially with that Lions fucking defense. With the seventh overall pick, the Seattle Seahawks will be selecting edge Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. I think they got this pick from the Russell Wilson trade. Obviously, they won that trade a lot. And then they're going to get a very good prospect edge out of it. I think I could see the Seahawks going for an edge guy, line up with Nwosu. And shout out to Nwosu. He is a baller. But, yeah, I mean, he's got length. He's got size. I could see the Seahawks doing this. And with the eighth overall pick, the Atlanta Falcons will be selecting tackle Paris Johnson out of Ohio State, who was blocking for C.J. Stroud. I mean, he's probably the best tackle in the class. I think the Falcons are going to go for a QB free agency. like Lamar Jackson. And I mean, if they get a guy like Lamar or Jimmy Garoppolo or something with those weapons like Kyle Pitts, and you add like a long term tackle into that mix, I mean, that's a dynasty right there. And I feel like Falcons can make a dynasty with the right moves. And with the ninth overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals will be selecting Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson is an NFL ready by size and length. We don't know how he will produce in the NFL. I think he will produce in the right system, and I believe giving Kyler Murray a dude like Quentin Johnson to replace DeAndre Hopkins would make sense, because you're going to get that big size back, and now you're going to develop him into whatever the hell Kyler Murray can develop him into. And yeah. And with the 10th overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles will be selecting Jackson Smith-Njigba out of Ohio State. This dude has immediate slot abilities. This dude is crazy in the slot. I know in the NFL, this man was going to be a very god tier slot receiver. He's going to have a good Chris Olave type of year, especially under the Philly offense. They need a good slot receiver. I mean, Quez Watkins can't do it all there. And with the 11th overall pick, the Tennessee Titans will be selecting Peter Skoronski out of Northwestern, the tackle. Titans, I feel like they've been trying to shy away from making the non-sexy picks, but I feel like this year they're going to have to settle with like a boomer bust type of prospect, because Titans need boomer bust. They need a guy that can go out there and be an immediate impact. And with the 12th pick of the NFL draft, the Houston Texans will be selecting defensive tackle Brian Barise. This dude, I mean, he can power through the whole line. I mean, the Texans, they should be able to grab whatever's best available, and I think at that point, Brian Barise is the best available. I think he is a top 3 rusher in this draft. I mean, I don't think he's gonna have a Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter type impact, but he should be a big baller. I don't think he's top 3 talent, but he is a top 10 talent, and I think he will be an NFL star day one. He should fit good with the Texans. With the 13th overall pick, the New York Jets will be selecting safety Brian Branch out of Alabama. Dude is an absolute baller. I think he is a one-of-a-kind safety prospect. He reminds me a lot of Jamal Adams, and you know the Jets love hard-hitting safeties. When they took Jamal Adams very early, I think it was a top 5 pick, and I could definitely see them going here. They don't really have any needs on their team except QB, and I think they'll get Derek Carr, and this will be a good pickup for them. With the 14th overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be selecting Christian Gonzalez, cornerback out of Oregon. This dude is gonna be for sure the boomer bust corner of this draft. He is either gonna be the best corner of this draft, or he is gonna be a huge miss. Steelers have absolutely nobody at corner, so why not take the boomer bust and take your risk on a guy? Even though the Steelers aren't going to be in a situation where they're probably going to be in playoff contention, so why not just take the boomer bust corner and then just put them in the cornerback room? And with the 15th overall pick, the Carolina Panthers will be selecting quarterback Anthony Richardson out of Florida. This is the pick I'm very confident in. I don't know if the Panthers will get him for sure at 15, but I can almost confirm to y'all that I really do believe the Panthers will end up picking up Anthony Richardson. He reminds me a whole lot of Cam Newton with a stronger arm, and with players with like DJ Moore and Dante Foreman. I mean, those are good players to start your rookie QB with. I don't think they will immediately be playoff contenders, but I feel like the Panthers do need to go with a guy that they are familiar with, Cam. And this dude, he has that size or whatever, and you can go back to the old playbook. Go ahead and get Ron Rivera back. No, I'm just kidding. But like I said, I think he's also a boomer bust project. I think he is a big project QB, and I think that with the right coaching, he can be the next prime Cam. With the 16th overall pick, it will be a back-to-back Florida player. The Washington Commanders will be selecting O'Cyrus Torrence, a lineman from Florida. Obviously, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know much about this lineman, but I know that the Commanders need an interior line, and I feel like Commanders are a decent team. They could probably be playoff contention with the right pick here. And I think O-line is definitely the pick here. With the 17th overall pick, I had the Patriots taking tackle Broderick Jones out of Georgia. In this draft, they did trade for Brandon Cooks. I'm pretty sure they traded their second-round pick for him. And with the 18th overall pick, I had the Lions taking a D lineman. Not sure how to pronounce his name, but he is out of Pitt, and linemen out of Pitt are pretty crazy. I think Detroit needs some help on the interior D line. I think they should be set. And with the 19th overall pick for the Ravens, I finally feel like they need to take their receiver in Jordan Addison. Dude is also a project a little bit, but I feel like he is more NFL ready than a project. And with the 20th overall pick, the Seattle Seahawks will be selecting Michael Mayer. Noah Fant either on a 1 or 2 year deal. I think this is the best tight end in the class. I mean, I think he's also a can't miss prospect. I will for sure use that sentence for him. I think whoever gets him is automatically going to get a very good tight end. And with the 21st overall pick, I had the Los Angeles Chargers selecting Zay Flowers, receiver out of Boston College. I think that the Chargers, they are really set everywhere else. I mean, they paid money at all their positions. They just need a good number 3 receiver. And obviously that would help Justin Herbert a whole lot. And with the 22nd overall pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be selecting Tanner McKee out of Stanford. I mean, just a pocket QB. Any QB Tampa can take, they might as well go ahead and take home. They need a quarterback they can have as a rookie. And that's the only thing I could think of Tampa Bay. I don't think they need to go in free agency. I think they need to get a quarterback and let him play alongside Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and that good Bucs defense. I feel like they can actually make the playoffs. I feel like I could see like a Mac Jones type of year where he goes in there, doesn't play the greatest, but he could end up making the playoffs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And with the 23rd overall pick, the Minnesota Vikings will be selecting cornerback Joey Porter out of Penn State. He is my favorite cornerback out of the whole entire class. And I think the Vikings need another corner because Patrick Peterson is getting up there in age. And, I mean, all their corners are getting older. And then once you lose Patrick Peterson, all you have left is Andrew Booth and Cameron Dantzler. So getting a guy like Joey Porter can help a lot with the Vikings, who already have an explosive offense. And they'll be set with them. And then with the 24th overall pick, I had the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Luke Weipler, center out of Ohio State. Jags need any type of line. They had that amazing run at the end of the season. A lot of the reason why they couldn't get past the second round of the playoffs, and I thought, was because Trevor Lawrence had nobody blocking for him on the interior. So, I mean, I think that would be a great pickup for him. With the 25th overall pick, I had the New Orleans Saints selecting Bijan Robinson, probably my favorite player out of the class. I think he is a can't-miss prospect as well. I think he's going to go into the league, have a Josh Jacobs type of year, and he's going to fall in the class only because they don't value running back as much anymore. But I could see it. I could definitely see it happening. Because of the Alvin Kamara suspension. I mean, he's probably not. There's a good chance he might not play football again. And then Saints probably want a star right now, and the Saints, they always usually want to have a good running back. So I could see this really happening. With the 26th overall pick, my Dallas Cowboys will be selecting Nathaniel Dell out of Houston. Why not take the nearby local kid? I mean, dude's a baller. He's freaking fast. We need some speed at our receiving corps. I mean, I could see it. There's no way the Cowboys, if there's a decent enough receiver open left, we need to get one, because Jalen Tolbert was not the answer. 1 catch for 4 yards, that was not it. And with the 27th overall pick, I had the Buffalo Bills selecting Steve Avila, guard out of TCU. They kind of reach here. I feel like in this moment, the Bills, they don't know who they want because the Bills roster is so stacked and they just take position of need. I think that this actually does happen. I do end up thinking that the Bills will panic and they will just take the position of need. Not a bad thing necessarily, but there's not really need to take a corner because you took a corner last year and almost all your other spots on the team are filled up and they pretty much got them all good on their contracts. So, I mean, I feel like this is the smartest pick for the Bills here, unless you trade it back. And with the 28th overall pick, I had the Cincinnati Bengals selecting edge out of Iowa, Lucas Van Ness. I think the Bengals just need some type of edge rusher to go out there and make some explosive plays off the edge. And with the 29th overall pick, the New York Giants will be selecting tight end Dalton Kincaid. I can't remember the time the Giants actually had a good tight end, and this is probably another safe pick right here because you know that this dude's going to come in and he's a baller. I mean, I've seen his tape. He's actually, him and Michael Myers are can't-miss tight end prospects. I can't say the same about the other tight ends in this class, but yeah, he's actually a can't-miss. And with the 30th overall pick, I had the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Deonte Banks, cornerback out of Maryland. I don't know much about him, but knowing that C.J. Gardner-Johnson is going to be a free agent soon, and I think they might be losing out on a James Bradbury, I feel like they do need to take a corner right here. And I think that picking one at 30 is pretty good for them because you know the Eagles can develop really good corners. And with the last pick of the first round, the 31st overall pick, the Kansas City Chiefs will be selecting Josh Downs, the burner out of North Carolina. Chiefs like to go speed. I think the Chiefs go ahead and add themselves another receiver because I'm not sure if MVS or if it was McCole Hardman. Again, I'm pretty sure Juju's not gonna be a Chief. So I think the Chiefs need to get another receiver to put out there for Mahomes. It could be Josh Down, Kadarius Toney, and MVS or McCole Hardman, but I'm pretty sure they lose one of those players. But with the Chiefs getting a receiver, I mean, you're just giving Mahomes more weapons. Why not go ahead and get Josh Downs? Defense isn't a bad pick there either. But yeah, I mean, this is the draft. I mean, this is a very early mock draft. I'm gonna drop a mock draft 5 days before the actual draft, but I want to just do this for fun, just to see how the draft actually lines up from what I predicted from now, from 60 days till the actual draft begins. But I hope y'all did enjoy the video. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and share to your friends. Peace.
Ain't no more car hopping and kicking doors. I walk in buying shit. Deserve a plaque the way I work that vacuum seal. I'm too legit. Hoe from high school hit my DM. I just left the bitch on red. Used to throw me curveballs. Now it's why I ain't text her yet. Ain't no trust, but we got bags in the law. Designer fabric, far from regular. This shit on me cold. Just put VVs in my mouth. I could've put down on a house. Took real risks for this. Ain't doing no tussling. I'm shooting your ass.